So, we just got back from LA. We're back home.
How was it?
It was a blast. I caught the bug big. It was tons of fun.
Yeah, when you're going back.
And you described it perfectly. You're like, dude, the city has everything in it. Like anything you want in one metropolis, it's there. You can go hiking, you can go swimming, you can go see famous people, you can go see homeless people.
Yeah, and being outside there is just like infinitely better. Like you just want to walk, even if places like you could Uber and drive. Like I'll walk like 45 minutes somewhere. I never do that here.
Would you do that in Phoenix, or is it too hot?
No, I'll do that in Phoenix because it's windy too. Like if it's like as long as I'm like walking, it's fine. If it's summer, no. But the rest of the year, Arizona's really nice.
Mad dry though.
Yeah, but in a good way. Like chips never go stale.
Yeah, but like skin's cracking type thing.
And like sunburns are bad there. Obviously, but like when you get in your car in the summer, like you can get like a 2nd-degree burn from your seatbelt, like because it gets so hot. And you just like touch it and it like will blister up instantly. Yeah, so like you have like towels on your seats and shit if you have like a leather car.
Can't be leaving dogs in the car.
No, definitely not. Like 5-minute lifespan.
That's what we'd call a hot dog. Come on.
That's fucked up.
That was a good one though. That was a good one.
Hey, this is John Scott, and this is my Platinum Hour.
Oh God, what's going on? Where am I going? Dad?
Yes, my son. I am Deuce, the deer god.
I'm so confused. Who am I?
Derek. Your true name is DERCULES. DERCULES.
Wait, what?
Yes. You are DERCULES, the god of the forest. Season 5.
Hosted by your favorite podcast host, Big Bochi. You already know the deal, mother. What's up? I mean, you got right into it, but I got to preface real quick before we start.
That was just my practice.
Well, we're already rolling, man, so thanks for stealing the show. Hey, this is Connor Hawley of the Golden Hours Podcast. And listen, if you by chance get any sort of value from this episode, whether you're entertained, you laugh, you cry, you learn something, all I ask is you share it with a friend. That's it. And if you don't have friends, you shouldn't be listening to podcasts, man. You should be out on the playground.
Making friends.
Also, in the building, you got a hot mic here. Introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, what's up, people? I'm Hugo, but y'all can call me Juice. And my Instagram is Made Through Juice. I'm a videographer.
I like that. It's a little marketing, a little promo, a little plug. Are you going to go non-headphones all the time?
I didn't even think about it. I'll go headphones.
Dude, you're the audio whiz.
Yo, I'm always wearing headphones. Like half the pictures you see on my Instagram, I have headphones around my neck.
Or, what's your pose again?
It means, I told them it means peace among worlds.
The John Scott staple. So nonetheless, I have a not so young anymore, just turned 30, young man in the building, in the new studio, and someone I attest a lot of the growth of the show and the brand within Boston, too.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. I could never, ever have been building what I've done without your help and your generosity and you giving me a chance.
For sure. Like I saw the hustle, and that's all I really needed to see. Like,
thank you.
And I still see it every day. Like, and I also want to take credit for pushing the show to the morning.
Yeah, you did say, let's do a morning show.
And then you have the fucking rest of the day. You're like getting everything done before even like
for sure.
noon.
Well, we had some scheduling issues. What's creaking? Is it the
I
mic?
fixed it. It was
Okay. Yeah. Well, we had some scheduling issues early on at the old stew, but nonetheless, do you want to kind of give a quick synopsis of who you are and what
sure.
you do?
Oh,
okay.
Me?
Yeah.
My name's John Scott. I own Phoenix Down Recording in Somerville. I've had it almost for 8 years now. I was Jeezy's engineer for a couple of years. Started working with Lil Baby this summer. Just got my first Platinum Plaque with that record with him called Baby, featuring DaBaby.
Let's go!
Crazy. And of course my family loves it because they call me Uncle Baby John. So they like did not believe me that the record was called Baby.
With Lil Baby and DaBaby.
Yeah.
But you didn't know DaBaby was on it until later.
No, I mean, I knew he was going to be on it because Baby texted me. He was like, yo, send me that. He's like, send me that song. I had it called Rumors at the time. He's like, send me that song Rumors. I'm going to get DaBaby on it. And he sent it to him and jumped on it that night.
And was this before or after DaBaby started getting really hot?
I mean,
Dude, he took this year over.
I would say like right at the beginning of his straight ascent.
Like how he's been on everything.
Yeah, I think people just love his character. Like people say that he's better at like the marketing aspect than anybody in a long time. Like a less annoying 6ix9ine. Like people
less trolling.
Instead of love to hate, people just love to love him.
So I think it's because he's got a big smile.
Yeah, and I guess he's not very tall, but he's got a huge personality. He's like jacked and like.
He's what they'd call brolic.
Brolic, yeah.
You know how to spell brolic?
BRAWLIK.
I have no clue. That sounded good though.
Yeah, right. That looks right.
So nonetheless, when I had started the show, me and John have run an episode together before, but when I had started the show, I had gone to Phoenix Down after going to like 4 locations, and because John puts his phone number online like a psycho, and I called him thinking he was going to be in office. He's like, "Hey, this is Phoenix Down recording. John's got. I'm sure you're probably in the booth," and I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm running this podcast, blah blah blah. I'm having all these artists up on. It's a huge show.
Biggest podcast in Boston.
I think it was at the time.
I think that's what you said.
Well, we made it anyway." So I called John, then I showed up. It was probably about a 2-minute pitch, and I think it was some of Max's first days at the studio too. And then we just kind of started, and John just gave me total leverage and total freedom to start the show. He never taxed me ever, which is he knew I had no bread, never taxed me ever, and I'm very indebted to you, man. Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah, those were good times. That was fun. Like seeing a bunch of different people come through the studio, artists or not, was like a cool way to like remember that the city's bigger than me, like bigger than all the people that I've met so far, and that it's just like, yeah, if I thought I knew half the people, I only really knew like 10%, 5%. So
you probably know everybody in music though for the most part now, right?
There's definitely at least like 1 degree of separation at the most from any bigger artist or someone who's been doing it for a while, but there's still so many artists being born every day here. People going to the studio for the first time, kids turning 16, 17, 18. So it's hard to say that you haven't. If I haven't met them yet, they could have just started last year or 2 years ago. Like Lil Baby just started like 3 years ago.
That's it.
Yeah, it doesn't take like he came. Yeah, he got out of jail 3 years ago this summer.
How old is he? 25.
I think so. 24. I should know that, but
wow. And so, but do you realize with your studio now, like you've created an opportunity for like an eclectic range of artists, not just like people who are seasoned, but people who are also just starting to come and feel comfortable in recording? I don't think there's another space like that in the city.
No, like new artists are some of my favorite to work with because they really show their appreciation in a different way that like I know I'm contributing something to the world that is worthwhile. Like it's giving someone an opportunity to really sound as amazing as possible. My bad.
Caught in the simulation.
Yeah, I gotta put it on silent real quick.
Oh, good. You're totally teched out too, huh?
Yeah, super. My wife got this for my birthday too.
Is it tracking your steps?
Probably.
Did you check it?
No, it does tell me when I haven't walked enough though.
Oh, we'll say like get off your ass.
Yeah, it'll be like you did not meet any of your goals this week.
And you said, dude, because I'm staring at a computer, buddy.
But then it'll offer me. It'll be like, do you want to lower your goals? And I'm like, yes,
please. 50 steps a day.
Yeah, sometimes I've talked to other engineers who have like a mixed bag when it comes to dealing with like unseasoned, like you said, artists. But getting to be there in like kind of the beginning stages, you can kind of guide someone down a path quicker and down like a better path. And it's like there's nothing cooler than seeing someone who is like, okay, turn into like an artist, turn into someone who's making like music I would listen to.
How much early advice have you been giving an artist in terms of marketing themselves now that you've seen commercial artists and how they do it?
I just know that it's a lot of work, and it's more of the work. If the music is 49%, it's 51%.
Branding.
Yeah, not even just branding, but like specifically marketing your music. You know, you need to sell yourself online, but then you eventually need to sell your
good music.
You need to actually have music that's like people want to listen to, so that you can get streams and get royalties and all that, because people aren't buying songs anymore. So you can't just have support. You need like a whole plan. You need to do shows. You need to really be building fans.
Be
all the
personable.
time. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think that there's the next step in between making the hit song and becoming a star, which is like promoting the fuck out of a song, doing radio interviews, doing like 100 different college shows, doing all of like the other shit that goes along with it. But if I did know more, I would definitely give more advice, because I just know how important it is.
But you're learning as time goes on, the more you're surrounding yourself with big commercial artists.
No, definitely. Like when I figure something out, I definitely tip people into it.
At what point did you realize, because for those who don't know, John had, I don't know if it's functional, an Instagram ticker in his studio. When did you start realizing, okay, I have to be more public about what I'm doing too? Because does it come natural to you, or?
No. So shouts out to Johnny Finesse. He's really the only reason that I started taking my Instagram so seriously, because he kept telling me to give him, my Instagram password so he could take over my account. And then I saw like that I'd been accumulating a bunch of like pictures, that I hadn't really been posting, and the couple that I had posted didn't do as well as they should have, because I just didn't know how to do it. So then I like waited, and then Johnny came around, and it really was a game changer. Like way more people who had heard the music found out where it was coming from, and were able to like contact me direct. Like, so many messages in Instagram that have led to, interns or engineers or artists that I really was sleeping on that side of things.
It's had a direct increase in your
it's like, it's
booking,
not just branding. It's just a method of communication for like what I do. You know what I mean? It's like showing people that's like the pictures are the branding, but gaining the following is more about being able to communicate and remind them that we're here, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Then whenever they do need a mix, or they hear a mix on art from one of our artists that just like kicks ass, then that'll bring them back to it.
Is it a tough adjustment for you trying to be more public, or do you feel like you've embraced it?
No, it's a little bit tough. But I just gotta figure out like a routine and a pattern, because it's not something that I think about. Like I don't think even about like the picture with an artist until like the very end of the session, and then I'm like, and I've had times where I just like forget. Like when Trippie Redd was at the studio, I just forgot. Like I just like did not.
That would have picture would have been huge.
That would have been a dope picture. But he actually live streamed and shit, so we have like something of him
some
in the
evidence.
Studio. Yeah, Snoop's live stream at the studio is the best though.
I know John smoked Cohiba with Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
It's pretty legendary, man.
Yeah.
So when I mean, is it a tough adjustment for you being more public? I mean, like having more attention on you now than previously when you were just building the studio.
Oh no. If anything's, it just makes things easier. A lot easier. Like if I had to struggle before in finding the right people are coming to me now, and so that makes it much faster of a system, and then it's already the type of people too. Like if I'm looking for somebody versus somebody who has the initiative and comes find me, I've already, have a better pool if it's just people who've done the work on their own.
Do you think it over time you developed like a confidence in terms of like being more public about what you're doing, or was it like you kind of just had to snap into it as soon as things start getting really big for you? Does that make sense?
What do you mean by being public?
I mean, just like you are.
That sounds like a choice. That's like me posting, but having people know me more is less of a choice and more of just like something that's like occurred.
Well, I just mean there are more eyes on you now than ever before when you were building this, and so you now have to be like more open with people and more communicative with people. It's just like part of your job now.
Yeah, but I think I've gotten better at that, over time, and figuring out how to make it into more of a business rather than just a job has been like, it's been like a couple year process, but I'm definitely figuring it out. And yeah, like if like one of the years that I worked with Jeezy, it would have, like if I had everything figured out, it would have been so much better, but the studio ended up being unused so much of the time. Can't let that happen again. And since I'm like, planning to move to LA, I really need to have it running like a tight ship. That's been like the most important like thing that I'm focusing on right now.
It's also kind of, I was talking about this with Josh too, it's a competitive advantage that both you are personable, because what I've realized outside audio engineers traditionally are a little more introverted. And I mean, everyone, you're a little bit introverted, but you're still like a really sociable dude.
Yeah.
No, have you noticed that?
Yeah, no, it really helps. Like my wife has pointed it out to me, and I've seen it in other engineers who've struggled and other ones who've succeeded as one of the reasons. People want to work with who they like, like beyond who's like extremely talented. They want to enjoy their experiences on life while they're here and who they're with. So if you can get someone to like you and you're providing the service really well, then they won't be looking anywhere else.
So why do you want to shift to LA?
My wife is definitely, it's like we gotta move, but
it's fire.
Yeah, LA's a great great place, and that's where music's at. Like there in Atlanta and even New York, I would say are bigger than Boston, but I feel like I'll be trying to come back like every month or every couple months, so I don't want to like give up on Boston in any way. I want to still be growing it. But I think I'll be able to bring back some of the opportunities from LA too.
Yeah, I totally understand.
The opportunity is really the reason. The weather is just like a plus, a huge plus.
You're just surrounded by everything there.
Yeah. And good everything. Like even small stuff like the food being better and there being more healthy food just like everywhere.
Well, everyone's health conscious, dude. I learned like 15 new health trends when I was out there.
And people order drinks there weird. People order their coffee very specifically.
Well, dude, Starbucks is cheaper out there, which was mad surprising to me.
They probably just have so much business. It's probably just like nonstop.
Well, do they ship the coffee from Seattle? Because maybe it's less transport.
I have no idea.
I'm sorry,
I drink coffee every day, but I'm not.
Isn't that hitting?
No, this is hitting.
Yes, sir. That's space juice. Is it hitting juice? Dude, I know. Hit a couple of those a day. You'll be thinking all night. So, is it important for you legacy-wise, though? Because, like, I don't even mean to totally gas you here, but you've done stuff on a music tip that many people have never been able to accomplish here. I don't know if you ever think about that, but is it important for you to say, okay, yeah, I really helped build up Boston and I developed a foundation for artists out here?
I mean, people tell me that, and so I believe them when they say it, and there's really, like, there's no other compliment that I would rather take, because that's more for everybody than it is, for me, and it's, like, it's got a longer lasting effect than any, like, one-time thing, but I'm just at the beginning of it, so I don't really see me as having done it yet, so much as just, like, have, like, a very solid, visible start to it, but, what's his name? Post Malone's engineer killed it. Louis Bell used to go by Lou Balls and just from Boston and moved to LA.
Oh, did he?
So like I have like a huge,
Do you guys know each other?
No, I've never met him.
Yeah, but I mean, you built a studio here, which is like where rappers can come in and grow their sound.
Yeah, that part I love. I mean, having a physical space that's like I've just developed over time and see it grow. And just like visibly, it is so different from the very first time. Like I was just talking to one of my clients who came, I think it was with Lil Chucky or someone, way back.
Is that Young Money Lil Chucky?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the first big artist that I ever worked with.
So what was that like? That
was awesome. Did a session with him. He did a feature for 2 clients, and then his manager, Money Miz, came to me and was like, yo, Lil Chucky loves your sound. Can we get some free studio time? Because they knew I was just like starting out, and I was like, yep,
for sure.
I was like, yeah, let's do it, and they did like a whole week.
Oh shit! They put you in the drain.
Oh yeah, but they saw the opportunity and they took it, and I got to do a bunch of music, and I got to learn a bunch of stuff about the next level of how shit's done.
Did the song release?
Yeah, no, we did a whole we did a whole project like Overdue. I did everything on. We were mixing that until like 10 a.m. and dropped it at 11 a.m. and then the next day maybe we dropped it at 11 p.m. and then the next morning he was on Sway.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is that, like 24-year-old John Scott, 23-year-old?
24-year-old.
And so at the time, we're like, oh my God, I'm actually connected to the industry for the first time.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's funny how you can be so close but so far away. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different levels to stuff. Once you achieve the thing and you think that would be the thing that would mean you were there, you're like, oh no, there's still like so many more steps that could like I need to take before I really am where
get to where you are now.
So
at the time,
know where I want to be. Yeah.
At the time, did you think the Little Chalky thing was like your foot in the door? You're like, oh my God, I'm finally here.
And in some ways, it definitely was. I didn't think that it was going to be like the one necessarily, but I knew that you needed many ones to, start building a brand as an engineer. And I knew that he sounded great and that I was doing I was doing my shit. So I was very happy with that project and just like being that being my first little blip.
When you look back over like the last 7-8 years, what was like, how important has patience been? Have you been impatient? Have you been short-term fast? Like, because that's something that's been killing me, honestly. Consistency
and patience are different, but if I'm consistent and give it time, then the stuff happens. But feeling content and feeling impatient aren't necessarily opposites, if you know what I mean. So like I do want shit done now, and I know that like I can do stuff that someone might take a month to do and I might be able to do it in a week, or vice versa. So it's all a matter about like how much you want it and finding the balance of not rushing things and just knowing what you want and doing it right, and knowing like how much work you have to put in to do it.
Yeah, but is that a mindset that matured over time for you? Like when you were my age, did you necessarily have the same thing? Like, if I'm consistent and I just wait like 3 years, then I'll get there.
No, I mean the studio almost didn't happen. So it wasn't really up to me to be consistent. If clients didn't show up, they didn't show up. If they didn't book time, they didn't book time. You can only do so much to, force people into the studio. But when they do book time, I'm there, not just by obligation, obviously, but it does help set the schedule and the pace and the tempo. So I don't have to worry about doing stuff. As long as that part's working and that part's busy, then I'm set. But in the beginning, it wasn't something where I had all of the control over it.
Did you visualize like some of your success back then? You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Like trying to manifest it?
Well, manifesting it, but did you see where you are now back then?
Yeah. There's one moment in particular where I remember stuff starting to get busier, and I had a client in the morning for like 4 hours, and then another client right after that client, and then another client right after that client, like back to back to back. And that was the first time I'd ever had that. And I was just like, oh, this is what it's going to be like in a couple of years, like every day. And now it's even way, more packed than that.
Yeah, now you need to take breaks.
Yeah, no, I just finally like changed my schedule. So nice. I have like an hour break every day. I'm taking Sundays off.
Cool.
Yeah.
You feel better?
Yeah. Doing yoga 3 days a week.
I know Big J's on the yoga tip.
Shouts out to Jaquil.
He's on that California vibe already.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what has that done for you, yoga?
I can touch my toes.
I know, but I'm talking about a cognition tip. Like, are you more focused or
just more clear, less like just disturbances and distractions going on? Less
anxious,
just more quiet.
You meditating at all?
Yeah, like we do like meditation a little bit in the beginning and the end of each session.
Nice. 'Cause that
Like,
really helps you clear out and make space, you know, like you said.
Like I used to literally just have like talking, you know, way more of me just like rambling and no like dead air. And now there's a lot more dead air, and that's really nice.
But you're a chaos brain.
I know, so I need something,
right?
I need that. That's already happening, so I need to balance that. So it was just too far to one side.
Yeah, but dude, I've tried to meditate like thousands of times.
So
it does not work for me.
So you don't succeed at meditating, or you don't get the benefits from it.
I can't think about nothing.
Correct. So that it's a practice. It's like lifting weights, but in reverse. Yeah. You know, instead of trying to do more, you're trying to think of less, and that's like just as difficult. But it's something that it's a skill, and you get a little bit better at it. But I don't focus on that part of it too much. I just let that happen naturally, and you know, focus on the breathing and do the movements and stuff like that.
How long did it take you to start like reaping some of the benefits since you started with Jeezy?
I feel like some of the benefits were right away, and then there's a dip, and then some of them, you know, come back. Like it definitely helps my mood a lot, as well as like the clarity that I was talking about before. But for me, I don't think I'd be able to do it necessarily just on my own. Like now I feel way more able to do it, but in the beginning I needed somebody there so that I was forced to meditate. Otherwise I would just put on TV and stretch. Like Has your wife noticed like you've had a change in mood at all, or? Hopefully, I think she would say so. And I have more time to do shit like around the house. She's noticed that, like, I do more of my fair share now.
Do you get anxious now turning down clients or turning down work because your back was so far against the wall? Like, do you ever think about it?
I definitely have like post-traumatic from like that. Like I still answer all of the phone calls, like even that one that I missed. I'm like, who was that? It's like I wonder if that was someone big.
I know, I feel you.
Like I've gotten a telemarketer call and missed it, and then like
call him back.
And then when it didn't work, be like Google the number and try to see like if it was, you know, someone.
Well, it's ingrained in you now, which is fire.
Yeah, I think the habits that you build in the beginning are the ones that you need to, you know, think about the most, but they also end up being difficult to break. So like if you work really, really hard or too hard in the beginning and set yourself up, you have to work really hard to work less.
I feel you.
Because I'll just say yes to everybody and then, you know, have to cancel on people or just be in pain, and then I turn into an asshole.
Yeah, like I will follow up no matter whatever it is. I'll follow up with everybody like 8 times still. Which is like, people think I'm annoying as hell. I'm just like, dude, that's it's just like kind of how this thing's built, so I have to do it.
Yeah, people confirm. People actually show up. People aren't paying you to be here, so they're not incentivized in the same way that when they're like getting something from, you know, a store. You know, like if you have a pickup for something and it's yours and you already paid $1,000 for it, you fucking are gonna get it.
Real quick rewind though. So were you visualizing, like, I'm not to be totally like a health guru here, but like, were you envisioning what the success like looked like at the time? Like, oh shit, I'm broke as fuck, but right now I can kind of see that I'm working with this huge artist and I'm getting flown out to California and I know what the plane looks like.
Being at Jeezy's spot was inspiring because he just has, you know, all the trappings of crazy wealth and everything is just kept so nice. So I did definitely get a little bit spoiled and used to some of that shit back then, and saw how important it was to just be financially like responsible. So it was motivating. But what was the original question?
Like, were you visualizing?
I always have like the next plan that I'm trying to do, and it takes so long to get some of the bigger plans off that I'm thinking about them like, you know, every day.
Do you know what it looks like in your head though? Because a lot of people say there's like some sort of quantum physics twist that if you like ingrain something in your subconscious, it comes to fruition much more easily.
Like, no, I've imagined like the moments when, you know, like if I get a Grammy or something like that, like I've imagined those moments, but visualizing what like a physical space would look like, is a little bit harder to do. Sometimes I have dreams where like open a door to the studio and I have like an extra 4,000 square feet that I'm about to build out.
Fire.
So and that way I definitely like, I think about what I want and how to make it happen. And I think if that exists, that's why, I do think that.
Does it ever seem predestined to you, your success?
So, I mean, sometimes, but like, it's like, that makes me feel a little trippy when it does.
Well, yeah, because we were talking once about, I was like, dude, does your life ever seem like a movie to you? And you're like, dude, I don't even want to talk about it, man.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Have you had a lot of those moments recently? There are some moments.
I've had a bunch this summer, yeah. No, the Lil Baby trips have been pretty crazy. And yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say if when you think about something enough, like we were talking about, like you're manifesting it because you just put all your focus and time into it, or if it's the other thing. And sometimes it feels like it's the other thing.
But you forget about all the work.
But if it is the other thing, then it's predestined. And I do get deja vu like pretty often.
I do too.
Like I got deja vu like twice this week.
Dude, I got it in LA like 3 times.
Yeah. And
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird getting deja vu in a place you've never been before too.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
So, given that you want to shift to LA, but you still want to build up another space, can you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Really, I just have a lot of clients, and even some of my other engineers have a bunch of clients. There's only 2 studios at our space right now that are, good for recording artists.
C-room can work a little bit, right?
But not to the same degree. Like I wouldn't.
Not the professional level, yeah.
Correct. Like it's something that's awesome if we need to get work done, or if there's someone who's just trying to create for a few hours.
A producer go make some beats or something.
Yeah, but I would love to find a spot that eventually I could own, so I could keep all of the changes that I'm doing to it and keep adding rooms as we need them. If an artist could call and not get turned away, that would be like where we have enough studios.
You gotta recruit more engineers though, right?
Yeah, and luckily they've been sending in resumes, and I've been training some new ones up. So there's some people who are really close who just are gonna like watch me, Leo, and Josh for a few weeks, and then we're gonna throw them in the water.
I know. Shouts out to Leo. It seemed like that really just helped grow the studio.
Oh my
huge,
god!
Huh?
Shouts out to Leo, son, for real. He's got big stuff on the way. It's all hush hush, but
how did you secure that deal? How'd you snatch him off the waiver wire?
D the Flyest started coming to my studio. Loved everything except for how booked I was, and so he was like, "Yo, there's this engineer that I worked with at the Mix Loft, Leo,
which was in Quincy."
Yeah, and he's like, "You should definitely check him out." Brought him in for an interview. I had him do a session for me that night, and my client was super happy. And it started from there. We've been like learning from each other and showing. It's so cool having like a group of engineers who are all like down to share all of the secrets, like all of the sauce. Like he showed me a new key command yesterday. That was like, I just gave him a hug. Pumped. I was just like, yo, thank you.
Not the key command.
So many clicks he saved us. Like you have no idea. Like if I do that move, let's say 50 times a day, it's like 250 clicks, and now I can do it in 10. And that's like physical pain he saved me from.
I know. John's got bad carpal tunnel.
Yeah. So if you find out like the life hacks to Pro Tools, you can do so much faster and have it be way less work on your hands. And you just make everything
the holy
sound
key
better.
click. The holy key click.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with key commands.
Well, since I was there, you totally revamped the B room. Like, dude, I remember when it was just like brown walls.
And you definitely were motivation for making sure that happened timely, because you guys were doing the podcast, and I was the B room not looking the way I wanted it was getting shown off every day.
But do you think that's helped the branding of the studio at all?
Probably
indirectly, right?
Definitely. And so my marketing strategy has always been make the studio look dope enough so people want to take pictures, and then people will find out where it is.
Yeah, it's smart.
And if you make music good enough, they'll ask who mixed it, and then that's the same answer, you know? And then we don't have to spend any money on advertising. We wasted like $3,000 the first year in ads that maybe got me like one client.
On what type of ads?
Yelp.
Yelp.
The mafia of the ad game.
I just got a Yelp account myself.
Yeah. If you've ever tried to if anyone knows about having a business on Yelp, getting the reviews approved is just like a ridiculous thing. And they've set it to an algorithm. So a human on the other end of the phone can't even see it or know why something's not getting pushed through or is, getting marked. But I have like over 20 reviews on Yelp that are unpublished.
Why? Because they're not reliable accounts or something?
Because its algorithm doesn't think they are, or if, like it's a lot of people who maybe done like one other Yelp review or none, and they're making an account just to support the studio and to leave a review. Oh, yeah. And so it doesn't like that. And then maybe if eventually they leave 5 other reviews somewhere else over the next 5 years, it'll get, undone and reapproved or whatever. But
it's like having like a bunch of fake Club Penguin accounts.
Yeah, but like for restaurants, I think it really makes sense because there's enough of them for it to do a good job. But for stuff like a studio, the algorithm is just shitty, because I've gone to all the other studios too and hit their Yelp reviews, and they have some good reviews too that are just all being like, and they're obviously real. Like they're not spamming it to get like a higher star rating. The most reviews anyone in the city has on Yelp is like 5. Like that's how few, and like whereas Google it's like sounds? I don't think so. But on Google it's like 60. Like all the reviews stay on Google, and you can just look at them and see for yourself if any of them look super sketchy.
I think people give more leverage to Google reviews now anyway.
Yeah, Yelp has definitely been losing its stronghold because restaurants and all the other people who were giving them power stopped giving a fuck. They were like, fuck Yelp.
Well, dude,
people were like telling people like, I'm a Yelp reviewer, and trying to get like, it's like, I don't give a shit.
It's a whole episode of South Park.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we should do next time we go to a restaurant. Just be like, this food better be hitting, man.
Yeah, we're gonna,
because we got Yelp accounts,
Google
dog.
review you.
So where right now, like next year, you just turned 30. When was your birthday?
September 29th.
Hey, happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
You're a great guy. Where would you like a year from today be positioned? Like, giving like 2-3 goals you want to get done this year.
I would love to break an artist.
Elaborate on what that means.
I have an artist, Emma G, who's one of the most phenomenal, talented singers that I've ever come across. And so I'm going to do my best this year to make her a success and get, as many eyes on her as possible.
With those industry connects.
Yep, trying to solidify those and, leverage all of the connections that I've been building into real work and label work, more of that. That's the other thing is like I missed a text message from one of the 300 guys that's the label, and he was like, Young Thug needs studio tonight, and it was like at 2:27, and my brother had come into town, and so I ended up going to sleep at like 11:30 or something.
You were pissed.
And I know that they were coming because Gunna Man.
There's always two sides.
Two sides to every story.
I love that song.
Yeah, me too. But Cybersound fucked up Young Thug's part on it. Shouts out to Cybersound for doing a terrible job.
The mix was bad?
No, the auto-tune key was on the wrong key.
And he has a specific key, right?
No, it's just any song. You have to pick the right key. A song's in a key. It's like the...
But I'm sure he has his own specific software he uses for most of
it. Like everybody uses auto-tune. Like you go in there, you record it. The auto-tune key is set to the key of the song, and then it sounds right. If the auto-tune key is set to anything other than that, when they hit one of those notes that's not in the key, it sounds like sour. It sounds wrong.
I'm in a cup.
You should do an album.
Wait, so elaborate on where you were getting at with that.
They just disrespected Young Thug by putting the wrong auto-tune key on him, and I was pissed that he didn't come then, but all his guys came to the studio, and then this time just like slipped through my fingers. But Gunna Man was with him again. They were like at the club.
I know, I miss that dude. I miss seeing him over at the studio.
Yeah, no, I can't believe his brother got traded.
Fat deal, though.
Nuggets.
Fat
Nuggets.
Fat
Gold
deal.
nuggets.
Juice, for reference, Gunna Man is he's an artist who used to come over to John's studio a ton, and his brother is Terry Rozier. Yeah, so since when Terry got traded, he hasn't been over at the studio, presumably. But he's a mad nice dude.
You just made me realize that Terry Rozier got traded.
Yeah, Terry's a baller, too.
Yeah. No, I didn't really realize it because I recorded him one time, like literally hit the record button and then like heard him say one thing and then like left. But he's got a voice. Like I heard
he has a tape coming.
I don't know, but he could. Like his music that I heard wasn't bad at all. It sounded really good.
Dude, Damian Lillard's really nice too.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to send me all of the NBA players who rap, and we'll figure it out. Gunna Man and me will like book studio time and just like fly out.
Well, dude, I'm sure that someone already has this idea, but imagine just like a massive NBA mixtape.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone else has had that idea. I've never heard that.
Well, you can make it happen.
No, seriously. That's a good idea. Or at least even a Spotify playlist of all of them would be like something that would boom.
Well, have you heard Kobe's songs? They're great.
I think maybe one time someone's referenced it and shown it to me like before I even started doing hip hop or like really music, but that was like a long time ago, right?
Well, it's mad funny.
Like over 10 years ago, or am I tripping?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It was over like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was during the time where like PC culture and like social media wasn't really active. So he wasn't. He was talking about women, but he wasn't like overtly vulgar. So there's like this fine line where you can tell he's holding back on some of the stuff he says.
He's like, "Oh, I'm an NBA player. I can't say this."
I just cut the fat deal. Okay, so elaborate it one more time on some things you want to get done this year specifically.
I want to find another spot
in Boston.
Yeah.
So LA's in a couple of years, or like?
No, LA's in 10 months.
So you want to go out there and still run the business?
Yeah.
Okay.
And ideally be coming back once a month for, like a week of sessions or something. We'll see, figure out the logistics and stuff. Cool. But yeah, if I can start another spot, train another, 4 engineers.
Like a 2-room spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do the same kind of thing. Because building out at the spot that I have right now has just been a hassle every step of the way.
Did the bathroom come in yet? Or?
Nope. Never. They never came. We had a different set of bathroom people come in and do an estimate. And they gave us a laughable number.
Was it like 15 racks?
40.
Jeez.
$40,000.
I was like, no. I was like, bye.
Like you're putting a shower in there too.
Like a golden shower. Yeah. If I can make it, like I said, to have it so when an artist calls, they can get studio time. That would be my goal, to fix that problem, that supply-demand relationship.
Dominate the market space.
Yeah, and I really do. The word, it's a service industry, and people do get bummed out when they can't get studio time at a place that sounds fucking fire. Mm-hmm. They don't feel as inspired. They don't feel like they have a real shot anymore. So it's like hope. It's
You're providing a lot of value.
Yeah, and for the engineers too, there's a pipeline of, like I said, Louis Bell did it, and he was out of Boston, he was the man. When I started, any of the, rappers who'd been around for a long time, would a few of them told me oh, you're like a young Louis Bell, and but back then it was Lou Balls, and I didn't know that he'd started doing the post stuff actually when the first time I had heard that. And I was cocky about it. I think I was oh, I'm gonna be even bigger than him. And then I found out that he did the post shit, and he was gonna make $6 million this year or something ridiculous. And I was oh yeah, be humble.
Probably even more ridiculous now.
Yeah, probably even more ridiculous.
What a great artist, dude, Post Malone.
He's been doing crazy numbers too.
The music's great. Okay, so new spot. 4 new engineers, breaking artists. That's the goal.
Yeah.
What about placements wise? Is there anyone specifically you want to work with?
No, I never make. Maybe I should. I could try to manifest that specifically, but I would love to work with someone who's coming up, someone.
Well, outside of hip hop, is there anyone specifically? So John does a lot of work with Crumb.
Oh yeah, Crumb show tonight. This is gonna happen.
So this is gonna drop in a week.
Exactly, but I'm going to the Crumb show tonight, and
it's Halloween.
Super stoked. And
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Halloween.
Will people trick or treat in your neighborhood?
I think so. Caitlin told me I had to get candy, so.
Okay, don't get creepy with it though. I'll just
get regular candy.
Yeah, just leave it on the porch, probably. or you could give out eye locks.
Oh my god. Yeah. $40 a piece.
That'd be hilarious. The eye lock. Where's the eye lock? There were some classic moments at the studio. Did I ever tell you the
How many TVs did you see break? Any? Were you there when Geechee broke the TV?
No.
Oh.
Damn. He threw something?
Yeah, he threw dental floss at Johnny Finesse.
Oh, here's one thing. I'm sure it's gone now, but there was a time where it was very under wraps. John was like, "Don't tell anyone." But there was another studio resident that knew about. His name was Ratatouille. And
Ratatouille.
I would be running episodes, and there was a little mouse would come in from the garage bay and run in and then run out. And I'm like, "What the fuck? I hope the guest doesn't see this."
Yeah,
He's gone, right?
Yeah, we just stopped we had to get like different trash bags and shit because people were leaving them out and bringing them. Did I ever tell you about the time we had what do they call it? An opossum?
In the studio?
In the common space. Like,
how did it get in?
I mean, the door's open. It's cold during the winter. It's just an animal. Just like, I didn't even know they lived around here.
Just strolled on in?
Yep, was just chilling like right by the bathroom, like in front of it.
And what happened when you got to studio? Like, yo, what's up, dog?
No, it played dead for a little bit and then it ran away. But it was like we saw it for like 3 days. It was coming back, so it found some hiding spot like around the boxes and shit.
No, it'd be swaggy your new space if you get like 2 bird cages, and like as soon as people walk in, there are these 2 like peregrine falcons, kind of like a phoenix. You just walk in, and they just stare at you.
That'd be pretty dope. Like the huge.
Or maybe get like a Harry Potter phoenix. You get 2 of those things.
Like a real phoenix.
Yeah, like totally engulfed in flames.
Bird. Yeah, that'd be lit.
Okay, so listen. One, I want you to get your plug off, where to find you. Actually, I'm going to provide a little value for Boston artists. What do you think Boston artists need to do more of right now?
Promote.
Better promoting?
Yeah. Like, people need to spend the same amount of money on recording and promotion.
Okay, elaborate on effective promotion that you've seen in Boston. Because, Juice, you have a cousin who's an artist, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I could speak on that like really confidently, but from what I've seen, it's having a really good product and good video and doing some ads, like
Instagram ads.
If you can get it on like a playlist by emailing some people on like this on Spotify, that can get your numbers up too. And there's even ones that you can like pay for a submission for. It's a balance of, pay to play and trying to find people who actually support your music.
Well, can artists grow organically without ad spend in Boston?
Probably. I mean, don't tell people what they can't do.
I mean, you oversee everything though. Like, you're the godfather.
I don't know. I really don't know. If I spent more time just following other than Instagram, how people move, then I'd be able to say for sure. But I think people probably are sleeping on the live shows because that's where the eventual revenue ends up. So I know that is I would say most people's mistake.
That's all you can do.
Is not doing enough live performances.
Yeah, that's all you can.
But that's the dream, though. Live performance, you can tour.
Yeah.
No, but in Boston.
But before the dream was selling albums, and you could make your money that way, and performing was extra, and the ticket prices weren't crazy. Now, the only way to make your money back is through shows, and so you'll see artists who tour 180 days a year, and drives them crazy. A lot of them get burnout.
Avicii.
And can't and end up doing something like that, or canceling like Kanye, or a bunch of people who just stopped 14 days of their tour.
How does Steve Aoki do it? That's an animal.
Yeah, maybe it's exactly different. Maybe he probably meditates.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw there was a Pizza Aoki on Venice Beach when I went to California. Like, the guy's got millions of businesses. He's a maniac. It's awesome.
It's crazy.
Okay. Good. That was some good hashtag value.
Dope. Hey, this is John Scott, and that was my Platinum Hour.